just the frames. Got keys to kingdom, unlocking chains. Sober the podcast, open up your brains. Sober the podcast, let's get it, man.
Welcome back to another episode of Sober the Podcast with your host, Bradley Saxon. Got Mr. Carlton in the house.
Yo, what
and
up?
Obviously, part two, Mr. Josh Talley.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Who did not die in detox.
Nope, he didn't.
No.
He's
But
right
God,
here.
but
Praise
God,
God.
but
Right
God.
here. But God.
That's hope for somebody under the sound
Yeah.
of our voice that
Yeah,
feels like they're probably
absolutely.
going to die in addiction. That
Yes.
don't have to be the case.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Because, I mean, I have always said this since I got on this side of addiction. It doesn't have to have the final say.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
And I'm thankful that even when we're in the grips of it, it still doesn't have the final say.
Yep.
That's right.
That God does.
Yeah.
We can cry out to Him and
Yep.
and ask for help and take the help that He gives us.
Yep.
We can overcome addiction,
Yeah.
man.
Mm.
Like God never fails.
Yep.
That's right.
We fail,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
But even in our failure, God comes and works out good
Absolutely.
for the good of those who love God.
Thankfully,
Right? I mean,
sovereign.
think about this deal, bro.
Yeah.
Like I've been living lost, blinded,
Mm-hmm.
wounded,
Mm-hmm.
trying to freaking fix something in me. I don't know what's
Yep.
wrong. And this whole time, there's been a greater option.
Yep.
Yeah.
But isn't it funny how it takes those things to bring us to the realization of that option because it's a
Mhm.
mystery,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
and Jesus came so that that mystery could be revealed to us through the Spirit.
Yep.
But it often takes being dismantled
Yep.
for us to even
Radical.
open our mind to such a foolish message
Yeah.
as Jesus,
Yeah.
right?
Because we don't want to submit.
No.
Don't nobody want to submit to nothing.
No.
But even though by default I've submitted myself to King Alcohol for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, it was our master.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Like it told us what to do, when to
Yeah.
do it, told us when to
Mhm.
eat,
yeah.
when to be present. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, bro, we worshipped it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No wonder it came out in all types of
Yep.
profane ways. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it wasn't what it said
Yep.
it would do.
That's right.
It lied, bro.
Yeah, it did.
But Josh, man, let's talk about these last days of your addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Getting out of the hospital.
On a
I mean, you
wheelchair.
got multiple different diagnoses: liver failure, brain what,
brain anemia.
anemia. Like,
Mm-hmm.
here is the conclusion: if you drink again, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Did they
here's
tell
our
you that?
brain.
Did
Yeah,
they
they-
tell you
they
that?
told me
Oh,
that.
there
Yeah,
ain't
yeah,
no
yeah.
doubt, bro.
Yeah.
If you drink again, you're gonna die.
Yep.
Well, let's be honest. When you're the director,
Yep.
you got to figure out how I'm going to continue the plan I have for my life
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and find a way to put a new cast,
Yep.
not a cast like on a broken arm,
Right.
but
Yeah.
a new
Character.
person, new character
Yeah.
in
Mhm.
place of alcohol
Yep.
because I no longer can do this.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Which sucks.
Yeah, it does.
which we ended that last episode talking about how weird it is to try to navigate life independently of drugs and alcohol.
So weird, bro.
Yep.
Some people are like, that ain't weird. I haven't
Yeah.
drank in 40 years. We're not talking about you, dude.
Yeah.
You are weird.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
You're,
I'm
an, you're,
just-
you're, you're,
no,
an,
no,
you're an
you're not.
anomaly.
No,
Yeah.
you're
he's
not.
not.
You're
But-
an anomaly. Yeah.
No, he's
Yeah,
not.
you're an anomaly. But
Yeah.
but what I am saying is, for the real alcoholic and drug addict, when you take away the
Mhm.
drugs, you're not taking away the problem. You're taking away the solution.
That's right.
Yeah.
And now here we are with a pile of problems.
Yep.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
know what to do, man.
Mm-mm.
Right?
Yeah.
So our brain comes to another conclusion, which
Yeah.
yours did, which is, all right, alcohol has got me into a heck of a fix.
Mm-hmm.
I can't drink it, so I'm just gonna smoke some
Yeah.
weed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mary Jane,
It's healthy.
marijuana,
It's the herbal
reefer,
choice. Yeah.
that pound,
Herbal.
Yeah.
that loud,
That pack.
that kind bud.
The kind bud.
No sticks, no stems, no seeds. It's sticky.
Why my
Uh,
fingers sticking together?
It was about the
Whoa. I mean,
dabs,
I'm sure
yeah.
we're just excited about how this ended.
yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us, you leave the hospital, liver failure, brain anemia, can't drink. I'm gonna
Mhm.
smoke some weed.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Yeah. Well, pain's a great teacher, you know. Great teacher. And then what I found was all of a sudden all these thoughts are flooding my mind. the problems, you know, and the solution been taken away, and well, I mean, weed was okay. I mean, it never really, if I'm being honest, all it did, if I'm being honest,
Bro, it comes out of the ground. What you talking about?
Yeah, it's okay.
I mean, it's not illegal. I mean, it's illegal.
It's illegal, yeah.
I mean, it's against the law, but bro, no big deal.
Not for much longer, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But you know, I mean, so it's interesting. Like I used to get some panic attacks when I smoked weed, but then I didn't whenever I quit drinking. So I don't know what it was backwards about that.
Yeah.
But I bought me a big old dab rig, and that was my thing. You know what I mean?
What's a dab rig?
Oh, you don't even know.
All we know is 10-foot bongs.
It's smaller than that, but it's like a little oil. And why are we talking about this? Like oil and wax on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you take a butane, heat that up.
See, that's the problem. They didn't have no wax back when we smoked
That stuff
weed.
is on another level.
Shout out to Jalen Brady, who couldn't pass a drug test for 75 days because all he did was smoke wax.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, are you ever going to get sober?
That stuff stays.
Like he was here 3 months, couldn't even pass a drug test.
Yeah, I was like, dude, you're here.
So yeah, I mean, for the first month, I really couldn't function. I was on so much medication. They were trying to get me back stable. I was going to doctors. I had to go to MUSC to see about a liver transplant. And so, let's see. About 6 months after I'd gotten out. That was March 21st, 2017 when I left the hospital. And
you apparently had glaucoma too. Sir, we're here for the liver failure. I do have glaucoma.
Yeah.
I got cataracts in my eyes. That's tough.
I don't think I can think about that. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't that clever.
Well, I mean, the fact is you go straight to doing whatever you called it.
Marijuana maintenance.
No,
dab rig.
Dab rig. Like, bro, you're not okay.
No.
You're not normal, bro.
Yeah.
This ain't no JOB 1.5. I'm going to the dab rig. Yeah, dude, we're not normal.
Well, I mean, all those thoughts.
But just think about it. You're
flooded.
going back and forth to MUSC for a liver implant.
Yeah, and I remember Dr. Koch was his name. He told me, he's like, hey, you got to quit smoking. I was like, what are you talking about? I don't smoke. He's like, I'm not talking about cigarettes. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's
I
like,
seen
"Bro,
your blood work, cuz.
I got your blood work. Like, I was like, oh, got it.
Yeah.
But you know, I still kept doing it. I just kind of tapered back a little bit.
But that's a hard thing to hear.
Yeah.
I don't care if it comes from a doctor who's been studying the body for 30 years. Like, that's a blow for me, bro. Like, do you know what you're telling me to give up?
Well, I mean, I had to if I was going to be able to be put on the liver transplant list because my liver was so bad off. Like,
But nobody gonna give a pothead liver.
no, you ain't gonna get one.
I mean, that's a problem.
Yeah. And so, I kept smoking for a little bit, but I got some good news that my MELD score, which is your end-stage liver disease, like it was starting to come down. So they put me on the list, but I never had to get a transplant, thank goodness. And
what a blessing.
You know, it was early March 2018. It's about almost a year after I left the hospital. I was applying for a job at Carolina Floor Supply, and I thought I was gonna get drug tested. And and so I had been in this battle for a couple of months. I had confessed I was smoking weed to my mentor at the time, and I was getting up every morning at like 5:30, driving to Duncan, South Carolina, to work at a plant, smoking on the way there, take a break, smoke, go to lunch, smoke. Afternoon break, smoke, get caught in traffic on the way home, smoke, get home, watch Netflix, play PlayStation, smoke, and that was my life. And I was like, I quit drinking for this, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't have any ambitions, and I've been wrestling with that for a while. Like, this life was supposed to be more than this.
Yeah.
But I love this story. Before we go forward, couple things. Disclaimer, real quick. I'm not saying there isn't any amenities to THC.
Right.
Okay, because I don't really care if I offend people, but I will say in some cases the chemical has been used for certain things that are appropriate.
For
Yes,
sure.
absolutely.
The context of what we're talking about is drug addicts who don't have any of these other problems that people use it to help.
Yeah. Like
They're abusing it. They're getting high off of it, and they're switching it for another drug, right? Like that's where the fun and the laughter is coming, because we're all three cut from the same cloth who tried these different things. So disclaimer, you know, there are many different things. I think even in children that they use these things to combat that we're not, we're
Some
not
serious
calling you
illnesses.
potheads.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So
We use it for emotions.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
problem drinkers and problem
Yeah.
users. But number 2 was going to be good. What was I going to say? Number 2.
It was lined up. You was finna hit it.
He was fitting it.
Yeah, I was fitting to hit it.
Mm-hmm.
I was fitting to hit it.
Hit it. Hit it. Hit it. hit
Daily
it,
repetition.
Hit it.
Anyway,
hit it,
let's
hit
keep
it.
going. If it comes back,
Yeah,
we'll talk.
It'll come back.
It'll come back.
So I've been contemplating the.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I knew
Told
it'd
you.
come back.
Let's understand that from Josh's attempt of leaving the hospital until this day was his journey of recovery.
Yeah, that's right.
He, for the first time, I feel like had an honest desire not to drink.
Yep.
And given the information that he had, because he didn't have mentors, he didn't have an understanding of AA, he didn't have an understanding of kingdom, right? He had an idea of Jesus, but his familiarity with the application of any of this stuff was foreign.
Yeah.
And so his attempt of recovery was, honestly,
Don't do it.
I'm not going to drink, but I've got to smoke a little weed to keep me safe. Like, this is your journey of coming out of this thing.
Yeah.
Because I think it's important to talk about it, because there's many people I notice that are beginning their journeys, but they're not like us. They didn't just stop at a detox altogether, get into a 12-step program and recover. There's many people I've started to come into contact with of their first couple years of getting saved consist of them still smoking weed.
Yeah.
And God having through his Holy Spirit over time to start to bring people to raise their revelation, their understanding, to hold them accountable for something now that they know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I really think authentically leaving this, your attempt of smoking weed was your attempt of doing something different in your life.
Yeah, it was.
Because in that time you met Alan, right?
Yeah.
And this is where New Spring Recovery was starting to become a part of your life. And when you say I talked to my mentor, I'm assuming we're talking about Alan.
Yeah, I was just practicing anonymity, but yeah.
Alan Cawthorn is his name.
I had to
Actually,
pause myself.
his last 2 episodes posted this past couple weeks.
sweet
So
then. Yeah,
I
Alan Cawthorn.
think it's sort of
Shout
a sweet,
Fitting.
fitting thing
Yeah.
to help bring clarity to this story is that Alan's trying to start this ministry at the church. He's got Josh.
Yeah, unfortunately.
He's lost as a freaking baseball bat.
Yeah.
And here you got Alan, who has been years in recovery, who wants to help the next man.
Yeah.
And I love Alan telling the story because a lot of times it's Alan was helping Josh, but in this whole story, as you look back, it was also Josh helping Alan.
Yeah. Isn't it always funny how it works like that?
Yeah.
Well, God's plan is always greater than our plan. And so all I said up until this point is because you got to be careful in the early beginnings to judge people's story
Yep.
because you don't know what God is up to.
Yeah.
And sometimes God is up to something great when what it looks like is it to you because you declare the gospel as being moralism rather than the power of God.
Yeah.
So your idea of being a Christian is I've got it all together.
Yeah.
When in actuality, that is not the gospel,
No.
right? The gospel is the fact that God moved in and he started a work in me that often takes time to look differently through my behavior.
That's right.
Right? And look at this story, man. God is involved.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I know there's a time in this situation you're mad at God, but you're talking to God, man. You raised in a house. Your daddy believes in God. In the back of your mind, you know he's real. You just are so confused. So God help me. So he meets you and Alan, and you're still smoking weed. So let's pick up from there since we gave him a little more context of the story,
and
right?
I'm watching Elevation while I'm smoking weed. You know, Elevation Church.
Stephen Future.
I love it, bro.
So, but that's what I needed. I'm glad you hit on that. But
You're searching.
Searching. I'm looking. I know the answer. I know the solution to my problem, but I was unwilling to accept it.
Yes.
Right. I knew it was God because I've known him my whole life, but I was terrified to walk down that path.
Well, and I think you had a lot of misconceptions too.
I did.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I thought about God that weren't true. But so I applied for that job because I wanted to be out of that environment. So it's God doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. I had this one day. I don't need to be here anymore. These people are not good for me. And heard Carolina Florist was hiring, huge pay cut.
How'd you hear about Carolina Floors? Alan?
I think it was Alan told me about it because I think I expressed to him like I need something different. I'm driving to Duncan every day, and I need something different. And he's like, well, this is a great company, you know, and so which it is. So I thought I was gonna get drug tested. So I cleaned up, I quit smoking. Went in for my interview. And I'm like, where's the drug test? Like, I'm ready to take the drug test. No drug test.
Yeah.
But you know what? I decided that day, like, hey, I've already quit, so I'm not going back. And I didn't know. This is just God's intervention. You know, it's cool when you look back over your life, you see where God was all the way through your journey, even in your depravity and when you hated Him. But you know, I was taking Bradley's job
At the Floors.
At the Floors, yeah. And so like he trained me for 2 weeks.
Yeah. He trained you.
Yeah. I took his job, and then he came in at noon on some days and helped, or in the mornings and helped. But I mean, you know, it's like I get here, I'm pissed off because I got a pay cut. I'm chopping flowers.
Yeah.
You know,
Bottom of the totem pole in your mind.
Yeah. And get to ride at Spartanburg, and Bradley starts sharing a story with me, and it just resonated with me so much. I'm freaking crying going to Spartanburg, my second or third day on the job, I think it was. And I knew I was exactly where I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And so never went back, man, after that. Like God really opened my eyes that there are people who understand. Like I knew Alan understood me, but now I'm seeing Bradley understood me. There's more people that understood me.
Yeah.
And I had hope for the first time. Like if from hearing his story, if he did it for him, like you know, he could do it for me. So,
bro, you know what I just thought about? Mike and Connie don't know how great their ministry is.
No, they have no idea.
It just hit me. The people that they've afforded the opportunity has set a stage for healing. Like their reward is great in heaven. I hope they listen to this because I think about you know, I took my brother-in-law's position.
Wow.
Took a pay cut just to be on first shift. That ain't why I went there.
No.
I went there to meet you.
Yeah.
I went there to meet some of the people that I was afforded, that Mike gave me an opportunity, and because of his faith, allowed me to be in a position to minister my faith that now as work. Like, dude, I'm leaving Carolina to start the Bridge Center. It's far from being open. You're coming in. We're building a relationship that would eventually allow you to take over a ministry that ain't even been born yet. Right? That now employs guys. I've got several guys there that graduated this. Man, come on.
And gals.
You can't make this stuff up, bro. That's a ministry.
I really do hope they listen to it. I always joke like that's where my flesh went to die. You know what I mean? Which it did.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you're cleaning a metal wall with a toothbrush, your flesh has no choice but to die.
Ain't nothing like summer heat in the probably middle of July, August, and you ain't got nothing to do, but you're cleaning the floors of a cut room with a toothbrush and Clorox, and Bradley come in saying, "What you doing, bro?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bro.
But you know, man, God knew what He was doing.
He did.
Yeah.
I needed some humility. I needed some service work, man. And I just need an opportunity. And I think, just to piggyback off what you said, like, hey, don't be afraid or have your preconceived notions about people in recovery. Like, they just need a chance. Some of the, we're a peculiar people. That's what the big book says. Like, take a chance on some people. Give them an opportunity. And I promise you, like, majority of them will never disappoint. I mean, but you always have to know what you deal with.
Well, it's just,
I'm grateful for their ministry.
It's just dirty.
It is dirty.
You know,
It's just messy.
and it ain't just our ministry. Ministry in general is dirty because you're dealing with broken people. And here's the truth: you're gonna have to love people in the years and days, weeks, months, and years of sin being a part of their life. Why do you think love covers a multitude of sin? Like, bro, there's seasons where you got to celebrate the victories and you got to cry with the losses because you're getting both most of the time with these people. Man, they're not going to have it all together, and they're not going to if your idea of ministry is I need to clean up some folk to make my ministry look good, like you're in big trouble
Yeah, you
because
are.
these people are going to get tight at exactly the wrong moment. They're probably going to say something in public besides somebody who knows you.
Guilty.
And I'm just telling you right now, if your reputation of ministry is we got it all together, then you probably don't need to help sinners. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, we're not here to clean up mess, man. We're here to unplug stoppers, which takes time. And you want the Holy Spirit to be the one that cleans them up, bro.
Yeah.
Because if you are cleaning them up, then they're going to do it when you're not around.
Yeah.
So I love the fact, man, that you had a place to fall, a place where people could come and be themselves and meet a God that loved them where they're at, but also come into the realization that God loves us so much that over time through his Holy Spirit, he's not going to leave us there.
That's right.
Nope.
Right?
Yeah.
Nope.
And this is beginning to be your experience. I mean, think about it. You're going to a job and quit smoking because you need a job and you think you can get a drug test.
Yeah.
They probably at that point ain't never gave no bad
No,
drug test.
no,
Now,
no,
I'm
no.
not saying they're giving you a drug test now because we've taught them very well. But I mean, look
slip
at
through the
what
cracks.
God's doing. That's God, bro.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? And he's bringing you to a place where here's the truth. God, I need help with my addiction. Look at his avenue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carolina Flores.
Yeah.
Like, stop trying to dictate the way God is going to help you.
Yep.
Ask him for help, receive the help.
Yep.
You don't get to choose. You don't
That's
get to
right.
pick the methodology. You don't get to pick the pathway. You get to submit and say yes.
It's that simple, bro.
Like,
it's
look, dude,
that
you come in
simple.
kicking, scratching, cussing, fussing.
You gonna leave
Like,
kicking, scratching,
Yeah, you're
cussing,
gonna have
fussing.
a hard time
Yeah.
experiencing the love of Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you say, God, I'm not well and I need help,
I'll do whatever.
I don't care who he brings in your life, submit to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what he asks you to do in that moment. Do it.
Yeah.
And make a routine of that
Yeah.
to the best of your ability,
Yeah.
man. And God will bring some results out of that, bro.
Transformation, bro.
Most of the thing about desperation is a gift.
God,
Like if you want change enough, like you're going to change.
It's a
You're gonna-
gift, but
yeah,
that gift has a life shelf.
it does.
If you don't do something with it.
Yeah. How
You
to
know?
maintain desperation in
Yeah.
your life throughout
Yeah.
your sobriety is also another question. You know, because it's easy to quickly shift from God being your God to a woman
Oh,
or
yeah.
work or
Oh,
anything.
yeah.
Yeah. So remain.
But don't he
desperate for him.
show us though? Like,
Oh,
don't
yeah.
he show us when we put those things out in front where they should
Yeah,
be?
we just don't always listen.
No, we don't. we don't. We normally don't.
No.
You know.
But you know, I mean, Carolina Floor Supply was huge for me starting there, taking over, getting to hang out with you. I mean, I remember we were cleaning here. I got to come help clean here. It was me, you, Justin Black.
Oh, we had a
Bro,
mold
I
issue.
remember.
Mold,
I
yeah.
remember that picture. It was you, me, Black,
And Kip.
and Kip. That's
And
right.
Kip.
Yep.
We had our
And Kip.
mask on,
Yeah,
wiping
mask
down
on.
walls.
Yep.
Clean
I
the
was like, what
button
the freak we doing here, bro? Wiping down cinder block walls.
Well, that's where we got our new friend in the hallway. When you leave, you'll see that
Yeah.
humidifier.
Yeah.
Because this is under the
Yeah.
ground,
Yeah.
and we didn't realize that we didn't have any air on down here because we didn't want to pay the power. Nobody being here, and we ran into a bigger problem.
But that was
Yeah.
when we had Keith Busey, and Keith Busey cleaned the walls to keep the cobras out. Remember that?
One day we'll
Yeah.
have to bring him
Yeah,
on to
yeah,
tell us
yeah.
how he the cog.
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for?
What?
The thing that he had in the bottle. It was a cognition.
It was a.
I don't think that's the right word.
It's not. I'll think about it. Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, you good.
So how long did you stay at Carolina Floors?
Oh, 2021?
Concoction.
3 years. Concoction.
Yeah, he has a
Concoction.
special concoction.
Yeah,
you
you
did.
got to watch it.
I ain't had a cobra in this place since.
Cobra.
I'm gonna tell you right
Ain't
now.
no doubt.
Yeah, so I was there until 2021. It was a great job for me, you know. But I'll say this: through the good times and tough times, and you know, in the midst of that period, you know, I had a scan. 'Cause I have to have ultrasounds every 6 months, not because I'm pregnant, just to check my liver, you know. And one of the scans came back with a lesion on my liver, and I mean, my parents were still here; they still lived at our house in Anderson. But I have my own place. Yeah, I got my own place now.
Big boy.
The big boy.
Big boy.
That 33 got my own
Yeah.
place. You know what I mean?
Well,
It took me
that's
that
good,
long.
bro.
And I remember them supporting me through that. But like when I had a lesion on my liver, and I was like, "What's the lesion?" They said it's probably cancer. So we're gonna take a deeper look into it. And so they did an MRI. And I remember them just being so supportive and praying. Like prayer. I think Mike and Connie are prayer warriors too. You know,
Yeah.
and amongst many others. But so I went for my scan, got home that day. They let me have the whole day off, and I got a call from the doctor that day and said, "Hey, so once you know, your lesion's gone." And I was like, "Huh."
That's crazy.
But I
bro.
remember you telling me about that and being so scared.
Mm.
I was, because when I found out I had the lesion, I went and met Alan for I was training to serve at New Spring, and he's like, "Well, what you going to do if it's stage 4 of cancer?" And I was like, "Bump you, bro. Like, I don't even want to think about that." But I
Yeah.
mean, it was the right question to ask, man. And
Yeah.
I was terrified. Like, I done quit drinking, quit smoking. I've dedicated my life to you, God. Like, why is this happening to me?
Because you drank for 15 years.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see that.
Yeah,
you know what I
no.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
and
But that's just a good point, man. Like, if the only thing that we get is Jesus in heaven, let's be
enough.
honest, man.
That's more than
Because
enough.
there's consequences.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying God can't block them, because he's blocked many.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just saying, just know, man, that Jesus dying on a cross, being buried and resurrected is the greatest thing and the only thing God would ever have to do to show his love for
Yes,
us.
He
absolutely.
did it.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
I come out, I'm healed.
Yep.
Oh man, what an addition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But God saving me and preparing me for heaven is the greatest thing that could ever be done,
Yep.
because I don't deserve it. And
Mhm.
if anything, God has the right to lay his hammer on
That's
me.
right.
And
That's-
I deserve in my sinful nature to spend eternity separated
Yes.
from him.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that God would make a way for me to be right with him and spend eternny is enough.
Yeah.
You know?
It
Yes.
is enough.
It
But-
is.
And
The
I-
simplicity of it.
Yeah, and I'm so great. I mean, I resonate with that story of the prodigal son so much, or the lost son so much, because I was the one who asked for my inheritance. You know, and then when I heard, I think it was Damon Thompson telling the story that the father never took his gaze off the road. And that's how I feel like God was with me. Like, he was always watching the road, waiting for me to come back. And thankfully I turned. My pig pen was painful. And on the journey back, he gave me everything I needed. You know, new identity, new job, new community, like an inheritance that was promised to me. Like, he gave me the one I took. He actually gave me a new one. You know,
Yeah.
I thought that was my inheritance, but it wasn't. It was a life with him. And this job was great. But I knew I had a calling on my life, and I wanted to go. I wanted to run and go to that calling. But God, in his wisdom, he's like, "No, you can't go right now.
Yeah.
You can go one day a week and work for Chris Dew." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't happy about it, and then that one day got extended to 2 days, and I found myself trying to open a door that wasn't ready to be open. And I think we often do that in different seasons of life, as we're ready to go into that season when God's not finished working on us in the season that we're in.
Character ain't ready.
No, it could crush you. Like, I remember I was mad at CJ one time when he was preaching at Raw. Like, I didn't hear nothing he said, because I was like, why is he getting to speak and I'm not getting to speak?
I remember that. I remember you called me and told me you were mad at me.
I did.
I said, good for you, bro.
Yeah. Thank you for
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But, I mean, because, like, I knew that's where I was supposed to be, but it was the wrong season, and I had the wrong attitude, and God had to get my heart into the right place. And I'm just grateful that it went from 1 day to 2 days. And then they offered me a job. But, like you said, I got to pass that job on to somebody else in recovery, and step into my position with Chris and lead New Spring Recovery, man. And I don't know, like, this it's all still surreal to me when I think about, when I wake up I was on my way here this morning, like, just praying, which is sometimes just sitting. It's not always talking. It's just mainly listening. But he's just reminding me of how he's been with me since that day that I first had a drink at the pool. He was there.
Yeah.
He's never saw me any different.
Yeah.
I like to say that I was saved at 12, but crucified at 32. When I actually understood what the message of the cross was, and that, like, there's no shame.
Well, and I will say this, man, that a lot of people that I interact with that has been raised in church, or parents took them, made sure they were there, tend to help later on
It does.
in their
It helps.
life.
Yeah.
It does.
So, like, take your kids to church.
Yes.
Like,
Get them plugged
get them
in.
somewhere where they can be taught about the Bible too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I think, though you may not see the results quickly, I think that when you train a child up in the way that they should go, that God's a promise maker and a promise keeper.
Yeah.
And I think those roots bring them back, man.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's
yeah.
all three of our stories.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And the reality of mine, like, I had a misconception of God, and that's what the 12 steps did for me. Is it broke down. first of all, it excavated all the lies I believed about myself. I was able to forgive people the way God forgave me through doing an inventory. You know, like forgiveness is my favorite thing. I'm going through the steps again right now, and I'm on forgiveness. I was so excited to get here because this is like my favorite part of it. Because it's so freeing, like the weight that comes off of it.
It is.
And like Bradley took me through the steps. I called him after Raw one night, and I was like, "Hey," I remember I went out to the car. I was leaving.
I remember this.
I knew I was supposed to ask him to sponsor me. I went out to the car, started to get in, got the keys in this. I hadn't started the car yet, and then I was like, all right, pulled him out, went back in, and it was just saying, hey, man, will you sponsor me? He said, absolutely. And, I did the work, and, like, that was one of the best decisions I made in my life because I could have easily skipped that, thinking that I had the knowledge and understanding of God and missed everything because that's where I found the revelation of who Jesus was once I had a clear mind, I was able to clear my conscience and clean my side of the street, as they say, in AA, then I could actually see God for who he truly was. That's why I'm thankful for AA and the 12 steps, is it really took the scales off my eye, allowed me to see God for who he really is.
Oh, yeah. Well, we call it removing the block.
Yeah, removing the block.
That over-reliance upon self brings such distraction, such clutter.
Yep.
That when you can remove that, man, it's easy to feel God because your vessel's empty.
Yeah.
It's easy to hear him because you quieted the soul.
Yes.
That's what I tell people all the time. The 12 steps help quiet my soul because God don't speak louder.
Yeah, that's right.
And when you quiet the soul, you hear him because he has a whisper.
Yeah.
And that's really what you're saying is it was a tool in God's hand that really just helped not only help us experience him, but also really trained us to be disciplers.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Bro, I had never, like, dude, I don't care what kind of problem you got. I've always felt like because of my working knowledge of steps, I can help you.
Yeah.
And I'm the first one when you raise your hand for prayer or you need help, I'm there because I can help you.
Yeah.
Like, that's not arrogance. Like, I have found a pathway that if you have done it open-mindedly, honestly, and willingly, you will reap results. And I'm here to tell you, bro, that I was the broken and the bottom of the barrel. And if it can help me, it can help you.
That's right.
And, like, it's such a good discipling tool, man.
It is.
It's so good because, I mean, it's the thing that I've helped everybody I've ever helped with. And some of them I've taken through the steps, they don't even know I did. You know what I'm saying?
I needed to adopt that more because that's usually my first question. If somebody's struggling, they're self-will, whatever. I'm like, have you done steps?
Yeah, well, I mean,
let's start there.
I think it's a great tool, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to skip this though, man, because I feel like people need to hear this, especially if they're out there struggling right now and they're listening and they somehow are having this desire to want to stop. Like, this was not an overnight thing.
No.
Like you know what I mean? Like, I didn't start working here overnight. You didn't start at New Spring overnight. Like, there was 2, and tell me if I'm wrong, 2 to 2.5 years where we're showing up to this building at 5 o'clock in the morning on Thursday and Friday morning every week.
Yeah, every week.
Every week for 2.5 years, just being discipled. Like, just shut up and listen.
Yep. Sometimes you got breakfast, but not every time.
Yeah, not every time. But I'm just saying, like, there was such a such a cutting away of flesh. Man, and like the reason we did it in the morning, and I realize this now, is because like you really found out who wanted to change.
Who was about it. Yeah.
You know, like you really found out and I'll be honest, everybody that participated in that consistently for those 2 years, everybody's sober.
They're still sober.
Like every single person is sober. And so, like, it's just a testament. Just like, don't miss what we're talking about and think that like we skipped the process somehow. No. Like we.
But didn't. I feel like this is the time in all of our journeys where we were willing to be hidden.
Yeah,
I wanted to be.
Like, bro, who? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're being hidden. There's not a whole lot of Brit Center. I mean, people have heard about it. You know, man.
About some church, that's about it.
Yeah, but like, here's the desire. Like, let's follow Jesus.
Yeah.
Let's heal.
Yeah.
And let's go see who we can help.
Yeah. That was
you know what I'm saying? Like, every leader that's running any ministry has come through Raw, come through that, that I've been fortunate to disciple. And we're all hidden, being willing to cut on us. I mean, who in the world goes and hides and says, God, cut on me?
Yeah.
God, whatever you want, wherever you want to start.
A hopeless drug addict.
You know what I'm saying?
Broken.
And so everybody that's come through that particular pathway, man, now, I mean, I could name several that are leading ministries, that started ministries, that are serving, that are helping people. Because it's a time in our life where we understand ministry is a call to preparation.
Yeah.
You're not where you're at without preparation.
Nope.
You're not where you're at without preparation. I'm not where I'm at without preparation. So many people want to be seeing ministry opportunities. Like, bro, you don't want them problems if you ain't willing to be cut on in private. I'm just telling you, it ain't even what it seems to be.
It's not. It's not.
Yeah. A lot of people have a problem with whenever you say that, they get offended.
Oh yeah, but I'm just
because you've lived it. And
I'm just trying to lovingly help you and save you from a lot of pain. That what you think this platform is going to do, it ain't.
You don't want that smoke.
And I'm just telling you, the responsibility that comes with these types of platforms. If you don't have the character, man, you're going to hurt people. You're going to get hurt. It's going to end bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just stay planted.
Yeah. Fruit is given, right?
Yeah.
Character is developed.
Yeah.
You receive the fruit of the Spirit, but your character has to be developed.
Yeah.
It's not. That's nothing that's given to you. That has to be. It be cut on work. I mean, that's what those. I remember I got pulled over down the street from here at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And I was trying, hey, I'm going to the Bridge Center. Like, what's the Bridge Center? Because it didn't exist then.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to convince this cop that I'm not
I remember
getting
that.
crack.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you are.
I swear,
Yeah.
like I love Jesus. Like
Yeah.
but I got here and sure enough finished my step.
Yep.
I thought,
But you know, man, how crazy is it? 4 o'clock in the morning, you going to do a
step work.
step work?
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
Hey, do y'all remember that night we
Josh was here. We spent the night.
So it was kind of unique because Bradley sponsored all of us, and he in his wisdom sponsored all of us at the same time. So he took us all through the steps at the same time. It was like in the same wave, same time frame, and so we all end up here. There's like 4 of us, 5 of us.
Me, you, Josh, Chad, Stewart, and it was either Chase.
It was Chase.
I think it was Chase.
Yeah, Chase.
And we're all spending the night. Like, listen, like I got a wife and I got a wife and kids at home. And like
Me
we're
too.
all spending
Chase
the night.
too. Chad too.
Yeah.
We all in our birdies.
But I wanted to be there. And it was just cool, man. We all ordered pizza that night and sat around and did step work. Like,
I think we went to the Waffle House.
We went to Waffle House, right?
Yeah.
We didn't get pizza that night.
If we did, it was earlier. But
Nah,
I know we went there
to Waffle House.
like 2 in the morning. We went to Waffle
That's
House
right.
and then came back
Right
here.
up here. Yeah.
Try to go to sleep, but we actually did go to sleep.
Yeah, for like
You
2
remember what
hours.
happened?
We were dancing in there, remember?
I still got that
videos.
video.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, so we went to sleep, and people were banging on the door trying to get in on Friday morning.
Oh yeah, because
That's right.
and we
were
all
asleep.
passed out.
yeah, we didn't want to get up. We was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we got to do the meeting.
Yeah.
But
about that.
you know, we talk about these times because these were the times that made us.
The joy is in the journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those were the days,
miss
bro. I go back to those days many a times.
The joy.
You know?
It's a reminder, encouragement.
But out of all this, bro, I mean, you got God just rescuing people and conforming them to his image and beginning to send them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And now look, man, like you lead New Spring Recovery.
Yes.
You work for
Who would've
Chris
thought?
Dew Ministries.
Mhm.
Like you doing what you called to do.
Yep.
And I mean, what, 6 years ago? How you
Yes,
just celebrated
just
6
celebrated
years?
6 years.
You're on your deathbed.
7, I was on my deathbed, but 6 sober. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it was in the last 7 years that God has really just picked you up, brought you out, set you on a solid rock, starting to put a new song. That song changes every
Yes,
season.
it does. Yes, it
It's
does.
always a new song.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
interesting to say that.
yeah,
I've been praying for God to teach me my songs.
well, it's a
this
new
season.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, look at us now, man. We're sitting here trying to reach the next man.
Yeah.
And that's the heartbeat here.
Yep.
Is hey, we're disclosing these horrible things in
Yep.
our past because we feel it has power to avert death and misery to you,
Yeah.
And it has no power.
not to
over us
them, to
anymore.
you.
To you.
I'm talking to you. I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I know that you're listening, and this is piercing you to the heart. And I'm telling you,
Yeah.
that is God starting to
Yep.
try to pull you into a similar path.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you gotta let him, bro.
Mm.
You gotta let go. Absolutely. You gotta let go of what is to embrace what isn't.
Yep.
And you just got to embrace the unknown.
Unknown, man.
But the good news is if you do, God gonna show up through
Absolutely.
somebody.
Yeah.
in many somebodies,
Yeah.
and he gonna guide you every day.
And what an adventure.
It is, bro. It's
What an
so much
adventure,
greater than
man.
the adventure we were
Yeah,
on.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
this don't end in death
Yeah.
institutions
Yeah.
or
Or jail.
jail.
Yeah.
Like this leads to life and life more abundantly.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think too. This just so it's out there is like, it's not that all the pain goes away and all the turmoil and trials go away. Like they're there, but it's now you have a new perspective and outlook on life that you can walk through those
Yeah.
valleys with
Yeah.
with your head lifted
Yeah.
high, knowing
Yeah.
that like He's with you in the valley. You got
Mm.
people with you in the valley, and like you're
Mhm.
gonna make it. Like so, it doesn't matter what comes at. So when you quit drugs and alcohol, I think that was the disillusion I had. Like if I surrender to God, all my
Yeah.
troubles were gonna go away. But
Yeah.
no, it's like He was gonna give me the tools and the people to walk
Yeah.
through those seasons,
Yeah.
so I can embrace the sucky seasons
Yep.
and make it through to it.
That's
you know what I
good,
mean?
bro.
So
That's
Yeah, I
good.
mean, I think you're dead on, man, that God is the problem solver.
Yes.
Mhm.
He just gets in the boat.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
But
does.
there's problems.
Yeah.
It's not seamless. It's not
right.
problemless. But when Jesus is in your boat,
Mm.
you can overcome anything.
so
God-
much better. Yeah.
God
Yeah,
consciousness.
so much
Yeah.
better, man.
Mm.
6 years, bro.
Yeah.
You ever
Crazy.
thought if you would have wrote down maybe 7 years ago what you thought you would be today, you think you would have sold yourself short?
100%. Yeah.
So God's ways are always greater than our ways.
Always.
Yeah, so you got to trust the process and know that even in seasons where you think you know what's best for your life, God's plans are always
Yeah.
greater.
Yes.
Yep. Mm.
You know, and I'm not saying that doesn't come with, like you said earlier, some peeling back of the flesh.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that it's always brighter
Yeah.
after the storm.
Mm.
As it says, psalmist says, "Better is one day your
In my courts.
than 1,000
Yeah,
elsewhere."
Yeah.
dude.
It's just one. Yeah,
Mm.
one day is better than 1,000 of me
Mm.
doing what I think I should do.
Yeah.
Mm.
You're really just gaining through trouble more of an understanding of you have a friend that sticks closer than a brother.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like that's a saying until you go through things and you learn to depend upon him.
Now
Yep.
that right
And then
there.
you realize like this dude ain't leaving me or forsaking me.
Mhm.
Like this dude's a present help in my time
Yeah.
of trouble where
Yes.
everybody it's like that song, I forget who sings it, but you forget you find out who your friends are.
Tim McGraw.
Find out
No,
who your
that's a-
friends are.
Trace Atkins maybe.
I don't Who knows?
Do you know? Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
here's the truth. Stop placing expectations on them. They can't do you like Jesus does.
Hey. Yeah.
They gonna come and they gonna go.
Yeah.
Right? They got frailties, they got character defects. They've made decisions that they didn't know that they were making that later could have been something that was important. I don't know. Stop placing expectations on them. Embrace the fire, and you will
Yes.
find out can't nobody do you like Jesus.
That's right.
Place that
That's it.
expectation on him and his word.
Yeah.
Yes.
That he is a friend. Now, I didn't come into your life and say
Mhm.
that I could be a friend that sticks closer than a brother. He
Nope.
did,
Yeah.
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yep.
And so he's the one that said that he is near to
Mhm.
the brokenhearted, that he can mend a broken heart. People can't do that, bro.
Yep.
Stop placing so much expectation
Yep.
on people to be those things. They're
Yes.
never intended to be
No.
them.
Nope.
Jesus is the only one who can
Mhm.
promise it and do it.
Yep.
Yep.
And so just to know, embracing these seasons of your life, coming out of it, if you've got a strong tower,
Mm.
a refuge,
Mhm.
a safe place,
Yep.
you got someone that you understand more to be present, like, bro, you're gaining everything,
Yeah.
right? Because in this world, you will have trouble,
Yep.
right?
So
You
Jesus
will
said, yeah.
have
He
trouble.
said you will.
But take heart, I've overcome the world.
Yeah.
Well, like, I'm trying to hang out with you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Because I'm trying to overcome the world too.
Absolutely.
Right? And so I think that in this journey, the one thing I think all three of us can relate to, and we can share this in conclusion, is that in this journey of coming to God for healing, because we did,
Yep.
coming to God for salvation, because we did, we
Mm.
fell in love with him.
Yep.
Yeah, we
God, I need you to do this. God, I've got myself into this. I need you to do that. And while he don't always do it when we ask or even do it at
Right.
all,
Right.
through this journey of being regenerated, filled with the Holy Spirit, the greatest thing that's ever happened to us is that we have fell in love with Jesus.
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
And
That's the
he is
deal.
the treasure. He
That's
is the
the deal.
prize. Like, this relationship is the most valuable thing that we possess. And we know that our identity is found in nothing else.
Yep.
And nobody can take
And that when
Yeah.
people hurt us, people leave, jobs don't go well. Listen, we're hurt. We deal with the fear.
Yep.
We deal with the resentment. But at the end of the day, it brings us back to this truth.
Yep.
None of those things define us.
Nope.
Right.
Jesus does.
Mhm.
And even in the disappointment, God has promised to those he has chosen to work it out for our good
Yes.
and
Yep.
his glory. And I can tell you right now, I'm thankful for the realization of that truth.
Yes.
Thankful to be born in a time in history that I get to experience
Yes.
the empowerment of the Holy Spirit and I get to tell other people about it. And I'm thankful that you got to experience Jesus and his healing and this journey because you've been well equipped to help other people and you're doing that well. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, these couple episodes coming out is really going to save some people.
Yeah.
Jesus is going to use it to bring a light bulb. It's going to bring a different trajectory in somebody's life. Something I know
Yeah.
is going to come out of this that's going to populate heaven.
Yeah.
It's going to impact the earth.
Yep.
And I'm excited for 2 years down the road, somebody to say, I listened to episode such and such with that guy, Josh Talley, you know, the
Yeah.
one with the liver failure.
Yeah.
And my life changed because of
crazy,
his story.
man.
It's going to
crazy.
happen.
And the story goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, that person's going to be on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about how Josh mentored him when he was.
Yep.
I'm just telling you, this is the rippling effect, bro. The
Yes,
altruistic
sir.
movement.
The
you know?
kingdom.
Yes.
Yeah, so good, bro. So, are there anything you would like to leave the listeners with? I don't really know. Did we leave anything out?
I don't think
I mean,
so,
I
man.
know we've left some stuff out because
mean-
there's
Yeah.
so much detail
We could sit here all day.
in the last 6 years of your
Yeah.
life. But you know, if there was one thing that you would tell you 6 years ago from where you're sitting,
One thing I can tell me.
yeah, like what would you tell your younger you? What setting where you're sitting on this couch with 6 years of what you've experienced, how God has educated you, the wisdom you have. What would you have told Josh Talley 6 years ago?
You're gonna have to trust God and remain faithful. That's it.
Trust God and remain faithful.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because he's always faithful,
And
even
let's,
when I'm not.
and let's be honest. He usually showed up in that season of your life through somebody.
Absolutely.
And so as much as we seek God in private, don't miss him in public when he
Absolutely,
shows up
100%.
through somebody that
Yep.
looks like they can't help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, Josh, man, the time has come where you've got to do what you've done off camera, on camera. So
Oh, I do it on camera.
For,
No
for
pressure.
y'all that
No
don't
pressure.
know, during our break, we let him practice.
What break, bro? This is the next
This
week.
is the second episode.
Yeah, dude. But I'm just talking about this
Did we take a break?
this
Yeah.
however many day break. In between this episode, we gave him some practice shots, and he made 5 out of 6.
Yep.
But the
Call it
camera
like it
was
is.
off. And
Just
let's
set
be
the
can we
bar
can we
high.
say
Call it like
this?
it
Tell me
is.
if this is facts, okay? Tell me if I'm capping.
I will.
There are people who have never played in the NBA that are talented or more talented than the guys that are, but can't do it when the camera's on.
100%.
Yeah, I think that's true.
For sure.
I'm saying there are people at home
Yeah.
that are just as talented as the guys right now that are playing in the NBA. The only difference is they cannot execute when the pressure's
That's
on.
the
Yep.
deal. That's the deal.
No
Bro,
pressure.
kicking a 50-yard field goal
Yeah.
to win the Super Bowl,
Shank.
I'm just saying,
Yeah, bro.
it takes a certain type of man.
Yeah.
So, Josh, I mean, I know you made 5 out of 6 off camera, but we really about to find
just-
out.
What
He
a
just trying
freaking
to-
setup,
Yeah,
bro.
what a
We
setup,
really
bro.
about to find out
Yeah.
if you got that dog in you, okay? So
I
you
got a
can
dog.
you
I
can
believe in
move you can move however you did it. Were you standing up?
I believe in you.
Or
Nah,
were
he
you
was
sitting
chilling.
down? Okay, so I'm gonna push the microphone back and get your rebounds, but I'm expecting it to come out the bottom of the net.
I believe in you.
No, 4 shots.
You get
These
4
are you got
shots.
6 practice shots.
What are you talking about? That was last week.
Yeah, that was last week.
You should have been downtime is prep time.
You should have been praying.
Should have been praying. All right.
Here we go. I believe it.
Nope.
All right.
All right.
That's okay. That was close, man. You're right in the mix. All right. That's not bad either.
All right, Jay Stedman.
Yeah, Jake Stizzy. No trouble. Attempt number 3. Oh!
Bro, that just did you dirty,
That
cuz.
was dirty.
That looked good all the
See,
way.
This is when you make your money right here.
Nope. See?
But you get another one.
Bro,
anyway.
you get it. You gonna make it. Just make it.
Hey!
Let's freaking go. Josh Talley in the lab.
Let's freaking go.
Yes, sir, with the buckets.
Yes, sir.
For
Buckets.
days. Buckets.
Yes,
Josh, man,
sir.
we love you.
Love y'all. Thank y'all,
Thank
man.
you. And, you know, let me just go ahead and declare, prophesy that God is going to give you a new song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to have you on in
Yeah.
about 8 or 9 months so that you
Mhm.
can tell us what that new song is.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm
do it.
excited to see what your next season holds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank you for coming to spend time with
Yeah.
us. Until
Love you,
next
bro.
time.
Love y'all.
Sheesh.
Peace.